Hello, 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 world. I am back. You are tuned into WHLI1.com, the number one station on the net, Hotline Radio. And guess what? Guess what, people? Without any further ado, it's been long awaited, and I'm so excited right now. She's amazing. I'm not even going to give you the rundown on everything that she does because we want time to be able to talk about this. We're excited to have her on. I can't wait to, as I posted before, I love one of her sayings. We'll talk about that too. And without any further ado, I'd like to roll out the red carpet for the very special actress, model, writer, producer, director, art dealer. She does so many. She's a master of so many crafts. Miss Liane Langford. Hello, Liane.
Hi, Keith. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful introduction. And I'm so glad we finally got to get together and have a little talk here.
I know.
It's probably going to be, I can't wait to hear what you got for me.
Yeah. Hey, look, they'll tell you Keith Harris to stay ready now when you're on the show, so.
I know. I'm expecting someone to come in here with a big bucket of water and go, surprise!
You know what? But let me start out first by saying, when you talk about that introduction that you got, I could have went on. I had to shorten it up.
Thank you. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm not sure how much that. Wow. Maybe
No.
You could have. I'm going to keep quiet on that one.
Oh, okay. We'll say.
I'm not sure what was involved there.
We'll talk. We'll save that for round two, Liane.
Oh, goody. Okay. Okay.
So listen.
Well, yeah.
Look, we always hear you talk about you're in Carmel, California right now.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And is it always sunny in California? I'm assuming it's sunny today.
Well, for the freaks out here in California, the granola yogurt eating. Although I have to say, that's not very true anymore. It's all over the world. People are being like Californians, aren't they? But yesterday it was in the 80s here in Carmel, and today it's foggy. Tomorrow it'll probably snow. I have no idea.
Wow.
The climate, yesterday was get your bare feet on and run down to the beach and get into the water, and it's so wonderful here. It's just,
Right.
It's a very peaceful, inspirational place to be.
Well, yeah, and you've been, but you know what, Liane, are you a California native anyway, though? I believe.
Yes. Mhm.
Right.
I was born and raised in Los Angeles.
Right.
And then I ran away.
No, you
from
did.
Los Angeles.
No, you did. You left You left LA for. Yeah, you did leave LA. You didn't leave Cali, but you left LA.
My family's a very old Los Angeles family. When we say old Los Angeles, that means from the teens they moved there and they established themselves. You're looking at a lot of Russians coming over, and of course Russian Jews. So then we have a lot of restaurants being opened in West Hollywood and Santa Monica, and my family had restaurants everywhere, and then they were in the movie industry as well. So what a combo, huh?
Yeah, I was going to say good food and good films. They go together.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go to Hamlet first and go see a great movie. I mean, that's LA. That's LA.
Right.
Los Angeles, the one I remember. I was talking to a friend of mine, a wonderful film director down in LA last week. And I said, so how's Beverly Hills? He goes, oh, it sucks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people that are in the film industry are like, Sherman Oaks. I mean, they're kind of, actually, I do have friends still in Beverly Hills and Century City, and, they're there.
Right.
But a lot of people are moving out.
Well, for them, I guess, for you guys being natives or for them being there all the time, I suppose it's a bit different. It's like, it's like if somebody came to where I'm at right now and said, oh, this is great. I'd be like, oh, okay.
Oh, make no mistake. When I take my friends down to LA, I give them the, wow, this is great tour.
Right.
I take them to Sunset. I take them to the Rainbow Bar and Grill. I take them to the Hollywood Sign. I take them up to, Griffith Park Observatory. I take them to Santa Monica for lunch. These people see all the fun, wonderful. They go. I actually took a girlfriend to Grauman's Chinese Theater to see Marilyn Monroe's handprints. So, it depends on how you go to LA.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Look, Liane, we're looking. I was going to say, I want to go there one day. We're going to go there and see your handprints somewhere.
I don't know about that, but I sure respect those that are there now. My goodness, I love old Hollywood. I really do.
Right. Now, you grew up. As you say, you grew up in the lifestyle in general. How did you get into? Which one were you into first? Was it modeling or film?
Well, it's kind of funny because when I was always, as a child, always acting, always singing, always dancing, always. We threw shows in our garage.
Oh, wow. And
we would charge like 5 cents to 25 cents for people to come in and see basically nothing. We would actually do these horror, like scary shows in the garage when I was like 5 and 6, 7 years old. At that time, my mother had me singing, which, God, I hated it, but I did it. I was always singing in school until 7th grade, and I asked her, I couldn't take it anymore. I was allowed to do this improvisational thing. I don't know, something had happened in class. I can't really remember, but we were allowed to create this improvisational thing. And, of course, mine was what it would be like to be in a haunted house during a thunderstorm, a lightning storm.
Wow.
And my mother agreed from then on that I could study theater. So really it started back then. And then when I was a teenager, I started modeling professionally, and I had an agent in Hollywood called Yes. What was the agency's name? Yes Agency. Oh, and wow. They would send me out on some nefarious photo shoots, I would have to say, and some good ones, and commercials, things like that. So I've been at it since I was a kid. And most actors you probably talk to will tell you the same thing.
Well, yeah.
But they always did it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? But you have some, like you say, that have always done it. Some didn't know that was going to be their path. Like I say, it's almost like we can look back and see the lights, camera, action for Liane, like being born into, as a baby child. Because even correct me if I'm wrong, but one of your uncles was an exec for Universal.
Yeah.
Right. How could you miss?
It becomes it's I've said this before. It becomes just your life. You don't really, looking back on it, years and years later, after everybody has gone, you see, then you realize, wow. Especially when you leave LA and you get some perspective on the situation that you lived in. I was very cavalier about all of it. I mean, I played on the back lot. I knew so many people, the parties I attended, the things that I was privy to. Right. It was just like, oh, okay.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, right. I didn't take it for granted, but I have to say that, and again, it is a syndrome of LA, I do believe that, because there are a lot of people in the business in LA. So growing up in it seemed normal to me. Right. It's just normal.
Well, you can tell that you have the aura. Like there's a lot of seriously now, because people look, smart people can tell. People with the eye can look and notice. You almost live. Listen, Liane, I don't think that you go into character. I think there's you, but then I think that character, there's a Liane character that just always lives within you. And I think, no, seriously, and I think when you go to work, you bring that out to people. I think sometimes you have to shut it down.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's so sweet, and I'm thank you.
Well, I'm serious, though. I'm not blowing smoke.
I hope I bring something to the table when I come to a shoot, or when I come to a set, or when I'm motivating people. I hope. I've been lucky to have a very wide skill set, and that's enabled me to experience, and I mean, everybody has pain in their lives as well. We all have challenges,
right.
And I hope that somehow through the years that I've been able to gather the experience and somehow be open to others. It's like a daily thing that I think we're all learning to do, is to bring whatever we have and hopefully inspire other people with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, because writing a book, if we can talk about that, stop me if there's anything.
Oh, yeah.
but like writing a book, what is that like? What was that like for you? Like, where did that...
Torture.
Oh, I could imagine.
Torture, Keith. Torture. Here's the thing. I have my darling friend Anitra De Lorenzo, who is Lady Aslan,
right.
who writes for several publications, and she has written a couple of books, and she is absolutely, this is the thing about writers, we all hate each other, and you know why? Because we know, if someone is really good, we're like, it's kind of like this love-hate thing.
Right.
It's like we love their writing, but we're always in competition because we're trying to do better ourselves. The thing about writing that I believe is that we are not choosing to write. It's not a choice when you're a writer. It's something you have to do. And if you look back in history, you'll see all the tortured writers, great writers in the world that have, Edgar Allan Poe, Jack Kerouac, Henry Miller, Hemingway, Steinbeck, all of them, William Burroughs, all of them, look back, they're all tortured, drinking, drug addicts, kill themselves. I mean, they're tortured.
Right, after sharing their personal lives with the rest of the world.
Exactly, and I think that, Hemingway for sure. I think actually all of them, or am I saying all of them did? All of them did. They expressed themselves. My process in writing my novella was going ahead, and I had been writing since I was a little girl. I wrote short stories when I was 14, but always was writing. I had books filled with writing, and I decided to write a book in something like in the 90s. I decided long ago, and I started writing ideas down, and I have napkins with things on them, and just I kept all those notebooks, but I had decided that it was all too much, and I really needed to start seeing if what I had to say mattered. So I started a blog when everybody was blogging, and I noticed that after each story, people kept asking, when's the next one? When's the next one? And it became very popular. So I shut it down, and I went, okay. Because you have to know, I mean, when you're writing, you might think you're a great writer, but it might be shit. Excuse my French.
No, you're right.
You might be thinking, this is the greatest stuff, and maybe it isn't, and you haven't found your voice, and your voice is not your, when you're writing, it's like, you don't want people to say, well, how many writers wrote this book? You want to know that, one person wrote this book, and it is their true voice. That's the most important thing in writing. So what is your voice?
Yeah.
So that became apparent that I had one, big mouth and a voice, and I started writing My Life as Julia Roberts, and it took 2 years to finish, publish, and get it out there, and it was worth every torturous moment.
Yeah, you
it
did.
Felt good.
I was going to say, you did good because Liane, not a lot of people would have went there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear a lot of people say, I'm going to write a book.
Right.
And what I have to say to that is, if you want to write a book, write the book, because you just don't know where you're going to be tomorrow. Be in the process. Always be in that creative process.
Right.
Just do it. And I know that's a really cliche thing to say, but seriously, you have something you want to do. If you're a writer, you already know that you're being nagged every single day. And those writers out there listening to me know exactly what I'm saying. There's this like little nagging thing. I don't know if it's real nagging muse or vicious little bitch muse, whatever it is, nags you every day to write.
Right. And
you should be writing.
And if you can, in other words, every time you think of something, try to grab a napkin or pen. If
Absolutely, because people say, "Oh, I'll remember it." It is not true. You will not remember it. 2 hours later, you'll go, "Oh my God, I had the most brilliant line, I had the most brilliant thought, idea, whatever it was." And I have napkins in my folder, sitting in the restaurant, writing down, sitting at Big Sur. I had no paper with me one day. And I grabbed a bunch of napkins, and everybody around me was using their phones, their laptops, in Big Sur, by the way, with this beautiful, beautiful view. Everybody was looking down. And I had to borrow a pen from somebody, and I sat there like an idiot, writing on a napkin this idea for a story, and I actually wrote the story right while I was sitting there on napkins.
Right.
So much for technology.
Exactly. I talk about that sometimes. Technology just kind of takes me away, but that's for another show. Look, now you have worked with this gentleman, and I know we could talk a little bit about this, but I don't know how much. I'm gonna say his name, and you know where I'm going, Liane. And then we'll get into another mutual friend of ours too.
Oh
no. Yeah. But Ted V. Michaels and 10 Violent Women, Part 2.
Oh, yes. Ted V. Michaels.
Yeah.
I love him. I do. I really love him.
Hey, look, you almost had us both dumped off right there, Liane. I was like, Ted V. Michaels. You're like, who? I'm like,
what? Who?
Yeah.
There's so many people. I'm so sorry.
No, you good. How was that, though? Have you been able?
It was really fun. I mean, I had a relatively small part. I was invited to come on. I called, and Luke Bernier, who's a great friend of mine, Donna Hamblin, who is his lead in the film, Janet's in the film, Janet Leigh's in the film, Nils Hessling, sorry Nils if I pronounced that wrong, sweetie, he's from Hamburg, he is the sexiest boy, he really is, he plays a bodyguard, we had a great crew, Johnny Cornette,
Cornette, yep, you're right.
Really, really fun to be with the Ted V. Michaels, and I was thrilled because the scene I was in was with Ted, and I got to play his gang mall.
Wow!
And I hope everybody knows what a gang mall is out there, but I got to play a drunk ditzy gang mall, which was really fun. Named Bianca.
Named Bianca, perfect name for the ditzy. I mean, they didn't say. I mean, character-wise, I didn't mean to say that like that.
It was really fun. I mean, I had a really good time.
Right. Yeah.
And Ted is very professional. And I went out to Las Vegas last November, I believe it was. And Donna is incredible. She's an amazing actress, and like I said, Luke Bernier got me in touch with the director and everybody, and I found myself on the phone with the Ted V. Michaels, who a lot of people don't, well, maybe they do, a lot of people may not know that he is like one of the or cult movie makers.
A lot
of his films are very well-known films.
Right. So. I know some people get upset because Liane, I be calling him an OG. I know. I call him the OG of the film industry. But
he's just so great. I had such a great time working on that.
Now here's another project, and then we'll go off into just lifestyle in a minute again. But here's another project. Big shouts out to Steve Oakley and Melanie Grundy as well.
Steve Oakley. I love him. He's incredible.
He is. I learned so much from Steve when we,
Yeah, he does this, we used to talk for hours on the phone. And I know that Steve has said this to you before we get into Steve's film, Natural Born Filmmakers.
Right.
Steve always ends our conversation, or we have this, I call him the Ed Wood of indie films because it's some of them are so bad they're so great. You can't look away. You have to see Steve's films. They're just and Steve will just come on set and he's so droll. He's so droll about everything and he knows what he wants. But I love the way he says, and at the end of the day, the moral is that there is no moral. he's just.
Look, listen. I've had. And Steve is one of the realest. He's one of the. Like I've had conversations with Steve, and I'm like, he has no bar, or there's no limit to what he's willing to be truthful
what you're
about.
Saying, Keith, is that he has no. What is the word? He has no control over his inner dialogue. Steve has absolutely no censor at all.
At all. And
no.
We love it though.
And he doesn't care.
Not at all.
No.
No. But I said, how was it? How'd you enjoy? Well, I know you enjoyed it, but how was Natural Born Filmmakers for you in that?
Again, I had a relatively small role. I was brought on with really incredible people. I mean, I got to meet Deborah Dutch. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she is she's a very, very well-known screen queen from the 80s. She's been in several things, and she's written her own film, produced her own film. I love her. It's called Hollywood Warriors. And so I got to meet Deborah Dutch. I got to meet so many incredible people on that set. Donnelly Heising was on that set. Jack, oh God, what is Jack's last name? See, this is where I get stuck on the shows because I could see their name in my head, and then I can't, I'd have to quickly look it up. But Jack, hi Jack, he's a stage performer, stage actor, classical stage actor, amazing people that were in that film, and Donna Mizio, oh boy. He's Italian. See, now, have you done your research?
Hey.
You see, then I'll spend my whole time here on Facebook.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I was going to say, they know who you're talking about. Don't even worry about it, Liane. It's
these are great people.
Right.
But anyway, we did a night shoot in this sleazy club in like a really bad part of town called Joy Club, and they didn't have the air on, and we were all in there stuffy, sweating, and we laugh about the craft because the food that they have out there, the meat was getting slimy.
Oh,
it was so funny. It was just like we got there at 3, and I think I left there at 2:30 in the morning. Went down Ventura Boulevard, it was like back in LA at night, and stopped at this burger joint and had food. But we were there for a long time. I met Arlen Gossab, who's another veteran working actor who's amazing. Steve's process, like I said, he's very quiet, he's very droll, he puts everybody where he wants them, and you just go.
You just go with it.
You just go. Yeah, he has kind of like, he works very differently. He has an outline of what he wants. He knows his characters, and his process is very different. He doesn't necessarily have a working script.
Right.
He has kind of like a little bit of a working script.
He goes play by play. Yeah.
So my character was Brenda the badass bartender, who was sort of a dominatrix, trying to sniff out vampires, basically. And she had a real bad attitude. So it was fun. I walked in with a whip, and and I'm hoping to work with Steve and Melanie Grunder, his wife, again soon. I really miss them, so I'm hoping.
How do you, and not to give away many secrets or anything, but Liane, how do you prepare for a role? I mean, as you say, you're natural. You're a natural, but how different characters? How do you,
Thank you.
How do you prepare for it? Do you hum? Is the ritual first? How do you get into your zone?
How do I do what I do?
Yes.
The biggest fear I have as an actor, and the only fear I have as an actor, is forgetting my lines.
Oh my goodness. Does that happen?
That's my only fear. I have no fear. I'm fearless. I approach a role. I usually they present a role to me, what they want me to do, and then I start thinking about that person, who they are, and sometimes it's hard to find a backstory when, like I said, in the situation in Natural Born Filmmaker, because there really isn't a construct of a script, or you're being told about this person very slightly, and so then I'm going, okay, what is that to me? In other roles that I've done, like You Found Me by Lawrence Nelson, which is coming out, I think, sometime this year. I'm very method, so I actually get some kind of emotion. I pull up all the emotions that might be appropriate to that character's backstory, to what maybe their intentions are, and then what I do is I study over and over and over and over and over, because the thing about a script that I found is that what you're doing has to be organic. You can't. It's hard to explain, but you're acting, but you're not. It's the old saying in method that what we're doing is we're pretending not to pretend. While we're pretending.
Right.
Okay, so you're pretending, but you're pretending to actually be a person that you're pretending to be.
You have to become it.
So basically, my preparation, I do. When I'm studying a script, I will actually pace the floor and rhythm. I'll snap my fingers and put it in rhythm. I don't like to record the lines because I find recording lines basically becomes a record, and then I don't get the opportunity to do it organically. I then do it the way I remember it from a recording, like a music, like a song.
Right. Yeah.
So then it doesn't become spontaneous anymore.
Oh.
I find that I have to wear it out and wear it out and wear it out.
I learned something.
I think that for me, I really need to be in that moment with that actor. If I'm working with an actor, I have done some very, very intense roles where you forget who you are. You get in the moment. It's to let's see, what's the word? What is how we do this? Remember to forget.
Right. And you taught me something, because I said to myself, I felt like with my lines that I would do it similar to a song. Well, okay, if I record it and I keep listening to it, that I would get it. But I could see where that would become a bit memorizing, as you say. But you're not really learning the feeling like that. It's not getting the feeling inside of you.
Well, here's the thing when I'm learning a role is I don't like to, because some of the roles are really, really intense where you are like in pain and you're crying or you're so I don't really, when I first start studying my roles, what I want to do is learn the other lines of the other actors that I'm involved with on my sides. I want to learn the overall thing, the overall script. But what I want to do is on my sides, which is with my part where I am, I want to learn the other actors' lines so I can actually do their lines too.
And then you can kind of bounce off of theirs,
so I can react to them. You're not acting, you're reacting.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind of complicated. The process, if you were to break down the process, you'd go, oh, what?
Well, what you're saying is making total sense. It's making total sense. And a lot of actors and actresses I talk to, that is they don't say that, but that is key. React to the other person. It's like if you and I are talking, if you say, something to me, I'm gonna have a natural reaction in real life, so you just kind of bring that.
Yeah. And here's acting is people go, oh, it's so easy, like totally what you're doing is like so easy. Acting is nothing. You guys are a bunch of bubble-headed, narcissistic. It's like, no. It's in us to do it. Of course, it's like it's in you or not in you. Period. I mean, I know people that go, oh yeah, acting. They don't care about movies. They don't. Whatever. I'm a total cinephile. I'm a total snob. I'm just, that's the way it is. But it is. Acting is reacting. Number one, you are learning your script, and like like I said, I have a really hard time when I get nervous. I will go up on my lines, which is a real drag. If I feel that I've done really well and I go up on a line and I go, fuck, oh shit. Now I have to go back because I've forgotten that line. If you go up on a line, then sometimes you just have to come up with something. Like sometimes I'll just come up with something to keep going.
Right. Right.
And sometimes your fellow actor, that's the other thing. You can get actors in a master shot that are working with you because they're in the master shot. And then afterwards, when you're doing your close-ups or whatever, I've had people that will give me nothing. They'll talk like monotone my lines to me.
Oh, right.
And I was so lucky in 2 films that I was in, A Blood Story with Mark Hansen and Joe Hollow. Well, God, there's a whole huge cast there. So, but anyway, the basics right there. Where Mark Hansen was so cool, I had to do voiceovers in a bathroom by myself with Joe Hollow. All right, we had to stay in the bathroom because we needed the same sound. Obviously, we needed the continuity. So I'm in the bathroom, and I'm doing these voiceover lines that are going to happen later as Mark is doing what he's doing to me. Go see the movie, you guys. Rent it. A Blood Story. Yeah. So anyway, one of the best directors I've ever had. I love Joe Hollow. He's just, oh my God, I can't say enough. And I can't say enough about Mark Hansen either. Mark knew I was doing these voiceovers, and he walked into the bathroom door and just stood there and stared at me like he was going to kill me. Just kept in character and gave me what I needed to the point where I was shaking. I was shaking while I was giving those lines.
Oh, that's
some actors know this, and they know to take, go in there. Same thing with You Found Me. Incredible actor, stage actor, Ryan Izze was my partner, and he's very method as well. And when I had my close-up, he got right in front of me and delivered the lines to me anyway. Same way. Right. He could have just stood in the background and went, where's my wife?
Right.
Where's my wife? He could have done that, but he didn't. He actually got in position. We both reenacted the whole thing again. With the camera in my face, he reached over. So there's a difference. I think that there are actors that are very giving actors that put you back in where you need to be. I'm going on here, so I hope I'm being clear. I really do.
You are very clear.
About it I could go on.
You are being very clear, as a matter of fact, and
okay.
and detail.
I'm very grateful. I'm really, really grateful. I couldn't be more happy with. I've been so blessed with so many great people around me, teachers. Every person I work with is a teacher. I'm always learning. I'm just, it's great.
Well, you know what, too, because we've got about 8 minutes left, and there's so much to go. But let me touch on your photos. Your pictures that you take, Liane, are amazing. You're in the clouds. You're like out of space when you take these pictures. It's like your photos are like movie clips.
Oh, thank you so much.
You know what I mean? How do you I know photographers when they're sitting back, okay, what we see on TV in the background is, okay, well, do this, we need you to do that. But Liane, you look so natural. It's like these poses you're in, you want to be there. It's like you're telling the photographer, look, this is me, take this photo.
I've been very fortunate to work with really incredible photographers, really great photographers, and I've been asked this question many, many times, and what I want to say about that, do we bleep when I swear?
Swear it up.
I need to know.
You're on the D.M.V.KeithHarris show. Go swear as you like.
Okay. The way I've described this is that there's a moment that we all have within ourselves. It's a spontaneous, intimate moment. We have that with people. I have that also with the camera. I let the camera in.
Right.
And for one moment, 1 second, whenever that camera goes off, I have sex with that lens. I'm very intimate with that. I could say something else, but I won't. So it's a moment. And I try to tell other models about this. You must feel what you're doing. Feel it Then when you're ready, look at the camera. When you're ready. Now, when I work I've worked with photographers when I was younger that were, shoot, where you can just move and move and move and move and move, and they just snap off. I worked with photographers where I go on set, like Pat Johnson, who's actually photographed David Bowie and Yoko Ono and et cetera, et cetera. He's incredible.
Wow.
Who will have me go on set, and I will just start moving and doing things, and he'll go, "Oh, that's it, stay there." And I know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And we'll stay there for a few shots.
That's what I'm saying. You're a photographer's dream. I mean.
Yeah, I have some experience. Yeah, I do. But it's everything's sort of everything I'm doing is sort of a new experience. I like coming up with new ideas emotionally for the camera.
Right, and I want to point out and you know what, we're going to leave we're going to make sure everybody knows the IMDb page to go check out and places they can check your photos, but we're going to focus on one. And I know Janet Leigh and I had a conversation about this one particular. There was one where you're laying in a bathtub with all the red and the blood.
Oh, yes.
And your photos, like you say, are so they're so there. It almost looks like the film crew the camera crew happened to come over and just caught you there like that.
That was in my bathtub.
See what I'm talking about? Exactly.
All those shots are in my house and next door.
There you go. Now see, that's what I'm talking about. Like you were totally. It was like, okay, look, oh, you guys are here. All right, well, it's almost like you had to step out of that to get prepared. So that's.
Yeah, those were done by Lance Miller, who's an amazing photographer, very creative, and like I said, I like to come up with ideas, and the two of us together, and it was a stigmata shoot.
Oh wow.
So I had blood running from my eyes and blood running from my palms. That was the last part of the shoot, and I loved the idea that this Oscar de la Renta headpiece that I was wearing, I threw over the bathtub because I wanted the silk to look like blood.
Oh, wow.
Even though it wasn't blood, I wanted it to feel like it was a continuation of what was in the bathtub.
Right.
So it's little things like that, to see if someone can catch an eye and say, oh, I like that. That's kind of interesting. And then we took everything out of it. We made it white and just that. He edited everything else out. Yeah. So that was a fun shoot. And I do love photography. I'm a city model up in SF right now, but I'll be switching over to the Blackwell Files, which is much more of a casting and modeling agency up in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna switch now. What can we
switch agents? Yeah.
So now, what can we expect? Some of the films that everybody should be on the lookout. Now I know Blood. Now I know Blood Story. Is it Blood Story, right?
Blood Story. About Elizabeth the Bathory. Mm-hmm.
Right. I remember there was a lot of hype behind that premiere. I'm going to try to move quick. We got 3 minutes, but there was a lot of hype behind that premiere as well. Now, can people go check that out?
People can go. I think you can go check out A Blood Story on VOD. You can go to Amazon. That's where I would go, and it's a really cool story. All Joe Hollow films, are fantastic. He's worked with Tony Todd, Robert Zadar, amazing people. Linnea Quigley. I think, how many films are coming out? You Found Me. Lawrence Nelson should be coming out soon. We have Ted V. Michaels, 10 Violent Women Part 2 should be coming out.
Right.
I believe we have Steve's film is out, I believe, and has been to festivals, is going to festivals. I am really excited. In June I'll be going to Baltimore to work on Noctambulous, a film by Johnny Daggers, and I've had the honor of working in different areas in that film. It is a film that takes place in the 1920s, but we're doing it like Nosferatu or The Phantom Carriage, like a silent film in the 20s. And that is going to be absolutely exquisite. And I call that the new nostalgic.
Oh, wow.
So we are getting ready for the new nostalgic, which is an absolutely incredible idea. When I heard this idea, I asked Johnny, because it was already cast, I said, can I be a ghost? I didn't care. It was like, I don't care. I just want to be a part of the film. And he was so sweet. He wrote me the small role that became actually a supporting lead role of a sort of a bohemian antagonist named Marlene. There are incredible people on that film. Buffy Fox, Bonnie, oh my goodness, Bonnie, your last name, dear. Her daughter, Lauren Peel, is our lead. We've got Nicholas Lazario as another lead. This is going to be amazing, you guys. I'm not kidding. And Johnny Daggers has his film coming out, Blood on the Rio, which I'm sure you've heard about, a documentary, which has been very, very incredible. Both these films are CGL distribution, so look out for those and more information on that. And then I'll be working with Cameron Scott on another incredible, these are like incredible projects. Cameron Scott, the director of Postmortem America 2021, with Linnea Quigley and Jim O'Rear, and just, again, an amazing cast. I'll be working with these people again on the Crocodile Chronicles, which is also going to be very, very intense. So I play a character named Nikita, and he's putting me in an abandoned asylum in a boiler room. It's going to be very intense.
You're going to be able to adapt to that, though.
People look these things up, like these pages, because when you look up the Noctambulist, which means sleepwalker, go to that page, look it up. You'll see what that's about. It's amazing. There's a couple of videos there. There's an interview with Johnny Daggers and me. You can hear a lot more about what's going on. Go to Crocodile Chronicles. Look it up. Look up Cameron Scott. Look up Steve Oakley. Look up You Found Me. These are really amazing independent filmmakers. And Joe Hollow, who's a little bit more experienced in all of them, who is sort of my Svengali. I love Joe. But they're just amazing people to work with. Their minds, the creativity in the indie world, because you have so many remakes.
Right.
Enough. I love them. I love everybody. Not to say, I love people that have gone out and had the balls to do a remake, because that's like teeth, fall apart in your hands doing a remake.
Right.
But I love the idea, these original, incredible ideas that have never been done before are being done. And I get to be a part of it. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah. And, because they have their own individualness to each of these projects. And and I'm sure that those people, when they're cast into and they bring you into the film, they know what they're working with. You probably listen, you've been doing this, you're skilled in this, you're seasoned in this, so you probably come on set and there's so much that other people can learn from you. And they might not look at it that way exactly, but it's a naturalness.
Thank you. I feel that what I do, I feel happy on a set. I'm good. One of the things that I also do as well is I'm very multitask. So I've produced with Johnny. I'll be producing and assistant directing. With that is the sets are very professional. Joe Hollow set, very, very professional. All sets are professional. You're all friends in some way. You become a family on set. You really do. You meet people that you don't know, and it's like you're working with a whole family. And it's kind of sad when it's over.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, it's over. Wrapping something can be kind of like happy and sad all at the same time. But while I'm on a set, I'm very professional on a set.
Right.
That's all I could say. I'm very professional, and but I love what I do, and I love the people that I work with.
Wow. And you know what? We're excited. Listen, we're gonna get ready. Liane, can we do this again? I love the fact.
Oh yeah.
I love the fact that it's our show. We can do this as many times as we want to do it. So
I love it, dude. Yes, absolutely. Because I feel like I probably yammered on there.
No, you
there's
didn't.
so much to say.
Exactly. There's no yammering because I wanted to yammer on some more too. Like I I got, but you know what?
You're so wonderful, you and Janet. You're so wonderful to have me on the show. It's just such a lovely thing.
Listen,
so I want to thank you both.
Listen, we wanted to do that, and Janet was so excited. Yeah, I go talk about Janet on the
She's
air right
great.
now.
I love her. She is also in 10 Violent Women Part 2.
Yeah, I know, right? Like
that's how I met Janet. So it was, I mean, not on set, but that's how I met her, and she's just really amazing. I'm just been very lucky. I think the one thing that I do want to say is don't get mad, get famous.
That's it.
And the reason I say that is that you are going to meet people along the way that maybe have a knife. I always kind of play with knives and guns, and people laugh about that. But really, on the serious side of that, there are people that would like nothing better than to hurt you or to take you down or to, that are not authentic, that are jealous, or whatever it is. That I know a lot of us have experienced that at some time or another. And that is really, some people say, oh, get revenge. Don't get mad. Go out and get real famous.
And yep.
Those people will fall away.
Right.
And that's why I use that all the time. Because I feel that it's like, don't bother. Do your thing.
Right, and that's true because you can't focus. And I know you learned this. You can.
Oh, I have. I used to. I'm telling you, I would focus on stuff and try and figure stuff out. And recently, I've had something go down. It's like, what? Forget it. Right. There's no answer to it, or you can't make someone think a different way than they think ever, unless they're willing to do that. Then it's time to there's too much emotional energy. And I think that as creatives, we need to put our emotional energy into these projects, into what we want to do, because you're here for such a short time, on this planet. And maybe that sounds just really, mushy or whatever, but it's the truth.
It's the truth, right. And as the years go on, they get shorter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look, we'll stop that because we'll start to mess with people like, oh, everybody will start to think, well, how old am I now and this and that. Look, Liane, we're gonna listen for everybody out there. Liane, we have to do this again because we have not even talked about just what's a day like in Liane's life when you're not, when you don't have to film and you just kind of get time to relax.
Right. I'm still working. I'm doing so many. I have my book. We'll have to come back on and just talk.
Yeah, and just do it. And we'll listen for everybody out there. I want to make sure you check out Liane Langford's IMDb page. Of course, I will be posting that on social media. We'll be putting up the covers of the films and things like that Liane's going to be in. We're looking forward to getting out there. We'll be out there to the west to have a burger or have dinner or something like that, Liane.
Absolutely.
We look forward to it. Listen,
absolutely.
Everybody out there, listen. The amazing Liane Langford. Now, in case you are just tuning in late, which I always say you should have been here from the beginning, the full conversation with Liane and myself will be posted on social media just shortly. As a matter of fact, Liane, look, later on, we'll just continue our conversation on social media. We can just go on.
Great.
We should do that. Like, just totally turn it up on social media and just go back and forth. Maybe a Q&A or something like that.
I think we should. I mean, I think that's a really great idea because my thing is when I'm on shows, I really want to hear from people.
Right.
I really would like to hear what they have to say and what they're doing in their creative process and how they feel and if they have questions. I think that's so cool. I would love that.
Oh, okay. There we go. There goes the surprise. So be on the lookout for that. We're just going to jump on to that. It's Friday. What do you?
Let's get on that train, honey. Let's travel.
Hey.
Don't be a tourist. Come on.
There you go. What do you? And you know what too? We'll talk about this off air. You and I, we're all going to discuss this in a minute because it's something that we wanted and meant to do yesterday, and we're going to do it today. We're going to send a special shout out to someone, as a matter of fact.
Okay, honey.
You know what we're talking about. Listen, before we go, is there anybody you'd like to say hello or
Oh my gosh. Johnny Daggers, love you. Everybody, I love you all. Anitra De Lorenzo, Bonnie, honey, who's in Maryland, who's our wardrobe, and such an incredible support. Her daughter, Lauren Peel, for Noctambulist, Cameron Scott, Joe Hollow, Buffy Fox, our MUA, and special effects for Noctambulist. There's so many people. I can't even. Just know that if I forgot you, I have you still. So we probably talk daily. Steve, Oakley, Melanie, everybody.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Absolutely. Big shouts out to the whole Natural Born Filmmakers crew, the whole 10 Violent Women crew, just everybody out there who works along to
everybody. You know who you are, Lawrence. Everybody.
That's right, Lauren.
Ted. Oh my God. Wow. Everybody.
The list goes on. All right, listen, Liane, it's been lovely. We love you. Janet says take care too. We'll be talking to you soon.
Oh, tell her I love her too, and I can't wait till the next time.
Absolutely. Listen, Liane, have a beautiful day. And look, we're good. Everybody out there listening, of course, we're lucky. We get to talk to Liane after this is over. Okay, so we'll be back.
Thank you very much.
All right, Liane, we'll be talking to you soon. Listen, also, everybody out there, I want to say this. If you were listening in, and we see you, Liane and myself, we know who you are. We can see we have these powers, okay? If you are listening in and you did not call in and say hello, we're coming to get you because we know you know. But look for it, like we say, we'll set it up and look for the Q&A so everybody can join in. Because listen, let me tell you something, Liane, people love you. Like your fan base is phenomenal.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
And that just goes to show. I'm sure everybody's sitting back like, wow, it's Liane.
Yeah, I think a Q&A would be really good. I would love to hear other people's experiences and
all right.
talk about what their favorite horror movies are and their experiences. I think it'd just be really fun.
What's your favorite horror movie, Liane? Oh, yeah. Okay. Bias against one you've been in. Did you hear me?
I'm sorry, what?
I said, what's your favorite horror movie? Can you answer that question?
Oh my God, really? Oh, that's insane.
I know, right? Look, I know. I shouldn't have. Look, I was going to say you've been in Moonlight. You don't have to answer that.
Oh my God. I just watched Blade Runner, which is not a horror movie last night, but it will stand as a testament to one of the greatest Ridley Scott films ever made.
Okay.
I watched that thing in such detail last night, to the special effects, to Harrison Ford's beginnings. Wow. I love all kinds of film, and I do have a favorite horror film, but I'm hard pressed to think of it now under pressure. So
okay.
It'll have to come the next time.
All right, we'll talk about that later. Listen, Liane, it's been wonderful talking to you. And we will be talking to you soon. Whole wide world, it is the amazing Liane Langford. All right? And look, we're going to post the pictures. We're going to post everything. And we'll be talking to you soon. And everybody look out for the Q&A as well. Liane, we love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, Liane. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Everybody out there all across the land, that was the amazing Liane Langford. Listen, make sure you check out her book, My Life is Julia Roberts. Also check her out in Natural Born Filmmakers, Blood Story, and 10 Violent Women as well. Liane's always busy. She's always working. Listen, be sure to check out her IMDb page as well. You can keep up with all her past, current, and future projects. All right. Once again, Liane, we love you. Take care. We'll be talking to her and her staff again soon. This is the Keith Harris Show. I'm your guy, Keith Harris. Hotline Radio, WHLR1.com. We'll be right back.